Yo, 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 live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah with Real Talk Radio LLC, where our talk is always real.
Real talk, real talk. All you gotta do is be real with yourself, and everything will be alright. You feel me? Real Talk Radio.
Yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah with Real Talk Radio LLC, where our talk is real.
Yo, this is for those cats that's out there.
Very simple answer to one question. Do you hate all white people?
I don't think it's a fair question. The white man doesn't even come into my attitude. Mr. Muhammad teaches us to love our own kind and let the white man take care of himself. For a white man today, sir, after kidnapping millions of black people from Africa, stripping them of all human characteristics and relegating them to the role of chattel or animals, commodity, merchandise that could be bought and sold at will. And then 100 years since the Emancipation Proclamation, using every type of deceptive method to further us into slavery, called second-class citizenship, I think that it would take a whole lot of nerve for white people today to ask Negroes do they hate
legal or illegal?
Gotta get it.
Yeah.
Any way that I can get
Anyway.
it. Even if I gotta take it, I'ma make it.
Legal or illegal?
Gotta get it.
Got it.
Any way that I can get it. Even
Anyway.
if I gotta take it, I'ma make it.
Legal or illegal?
Gotta get it.
Yeah.
Any way that I can get it. Even
Anyway.
if I gotta take it, I'ma make it.
Let's walk this way.
Is that Prince King? Come here, Prince. What's today's mathematics?
Hey, yo, no disrespect, but we ain't in all of that, son.
Build, destroy. To build is to elevate the mentalities of self and those around self. To add positive energy to every nation. To build, you must first start from the root, which is the knowledge foundation, and add on to the highest peak. To destroy is to eliminate and destroy any and all negativity that enters my cipher of supreme harmony.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Come on, son. Brother.
Yo, 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 live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah with Real Talk Radio LLC, where our talk is always real. Yeah, you saw the title. Facebook YouTube's illegal censorship. So right now, what you're viewing, and let me bring this down. If you can see that, that's Facebook. This is their illegal restrictions or censorship. Your account is restricted for 106,751,991,148,222 days. How many years is that? Only because we're bringing out real information, huh? Well, it is a known scientific fact that when you are breathing in your own bodily waste, you are giving yourself CO2 poisoning. Now, these doctors, scientists, educators, experts, government officials, world leaders, news media outlets, law enforcement agencies, police officers, the military, and the rich, they know this. And the fact that they know this is a crime against humanity. So I'm showing you guys that while I'm bringing out this information, this is what's happening to me. These are called illegal censorships, which is also a violation of our First Amendment rights, which is a violation of our First Amendment rights. A violation of our Second Amendment rights is them attempting to have you guys get a FOID card when it's legally your right to bear arms. So that bullshit is just all it's all a power trip. These motherfuckers have a superiority complex. So what we're going to do, we're going to destroy this whole fucking system because they full of shit. The system is all set up against its people. You have these rich politicians who are making these laws. Now, I want you to get that clarity because they're rich politicians who paid for their seats who are making these laws. Fuck them all. They could all go to hell and die. That's exactly how I feel about them because they are piece of shit, warmongering piece of shit that deserve their heads blown off for the crimes against humanity that they have created. Now, I'm also on YouTube as well, and I'm going to take you guys there. And, you know, I normally go to Fox, Live Now from Fox. And when I go there, I attempt to post while I'm on there just to see if these clowns on Fox is censoring as well. So let's go there now. Let's go to live news. You know, they really censored me off of mostly all the live news, so I can't really post on any of them. But we were able to post on this one, on their live. So we're going to look at their live. Now, unless they changed it within a few minutes, yeah. It says chat is disabled for this live stream. You see that right there? Chat is disabled right here. You see that? That's called illegal censorship. That is a crime. So I don't know why they wouldn't allow anybody to comment on here, especially when they're making all these legal decisions. You know, they attempt to isolate us from coming into their facilities. How do they do that? Well, you need some type of pass to come into their facilities that we are paying for. We as taxpayers are paying for. Why would I need a pass to get into a facility that I own? Please allow that to make sense. So while they have you guys distracted, what is really happening, as I've been mentioning, let me bring it up to, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. So while they have you distracted, this is actually what's going on. And I'm going to bring it out. Actually, I want to pull it up on my Gmail account. So let me forward it to it real quick off my phone. So hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually using my phone right now so that you guys can see. So I'm going to actually put all this information in front of you guys so that you guys can see it. I just want to be able to put it there first. So let's email all this to me first. Actually, I'll just go straight to my email and do it from there. So let me compose something real quick, and I'm just going to put all this information that I have on there. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. But in any event, it's speaking about these crimes against humanity. Now, we have these people who are promoting terrorism. News media outlets. Your president is currently promoting terrorism. You have Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the founding father of Hamas, promoting terrorism. You had Joe Biden, who promoted terrorism. You know, basically all presidents promote terrorism. ICE, also known as ISIS, ICES, also known as ISIS, ISIS, is a terrorist organization that was funded by Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all Republican senators, government officials, world leaders. So we're talking about a law enforcement agency that is actually a terrorist organization, and we have the proof on that. We'll get you guys all the proof of everything. They tell on themselves, so you really don't need the proof by us because they make it public news. So this is how we're able to get all the information, and not only that, we're able to get information because this is what we do. We do investigative research. And by us doing this, we were able to see a lot of shit that has been going on. And they're only out. If you notice, these motherfuckers wasn't never out like this before. When was the last time you seen these motherfuckers out like this before, other than in the 60s? When people was fighting slavery. This is the only time you start seeing these motherfuckers come out, when you start exposing them. So ever since we've been exposing them since 2020, you've seen every single face that you never seen before. Why is that? Because we're exposing them. This is what happens when you start exposing these motherfuckers. They attempt to put everything out there where they can defend themselves, and then what they start doing, like victims, they start pointing fingers at each other. So these are the things I'm gonna start putting out there. It's the information that's out here for our people to know, but because they're so caught up in their bullshit, they don't see the bullshit. So there's a question. Why were there illegal immigrants from Europe, Israel, and Ukraine able to steal United States citizens' information, identity, and vote for Donald Trump? That's called mail fraud, mail theft, identity theft. That's also committing war crimes and crimes against humanity. So we're coming for them for this. We also have a burglary case against them as well. So that's coming for them as well. We have a burglary case. It's no longer filed as a burglary suit. It's a burglary case. So now we're getting ready to come after these motherfuckers. We're coming after them in every fucking form, fashion for the shit that they have been doing. And you have these motherfuckers, because if you notice their faces, it's the same faces. What face do you see out there? What face do you see out there? What face do you see out there? You don't see our people doing this shit. You see their people doing it. So now that we're starting to expose these motherfuckers, what they are doing or attempting to do, they are attempting to hide all of their bullshit. Too much information out here, too much for people to already find. We have a journal that's over 10,000 pages, so we're going to prove what we're saying, and we're coming after them. We're coming after them to shut the motherfuckers straight the fuck down, because we don't want to hear shit that these Europeans are saying. They are warmongers, and they have proven this throughout the course of history. I can go back 400 years and prove how warmongering these motherfuckers really are. You don't see civilians with fucking walking around with tanks and airplanes, jets that have missiles and all that shit. You just don't see that shit. We as civilians cannot go to the local fucking grocery store and pick out a tank. And until people realize that fucking shit, they're going to still be under their propaganda, which is bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. And we're going to prove what we have been saying. And we're going to prove it to the people who deserve to know. These motherfuckers ain't shit but a bunch of warmongering piece of shits that deserve their fucking heads blown off for the crimes against humanity that they have committed. And look, ladies and gentlemen, we know this. We know this as being facts. And because you motherfuckers want to keep your heads up your own ass, you don't want to point this out. We are going to. And again, as we have already mentioned on numerous occasions, excuse us, but I conveniently had this up above us, but as we have mentioned on numerous occasions, you see this right here? see that? It's a beautiful thing, whether you know it or not. It's called the seal. And this is the new seal of America. So, and this is forever. This is no longer, look, when Donald Trump made that announcement on March 16th, 2020, and then I'm going to bring that back up so that you guys can see exactly what I've been talking about. When they changed the seal. So let's get into that a little bit too. When they changed the seal, so let's show you the seal. So the old seal was, all right, United States of America seal. See, this is stuff that you guys should be doing, but you guys don't do it. So we have to do the investigation for you guys so that you can get the clarity. All right, the United States seal. All right, so I'm sure you guys are familiar with seal. The seal. All right, the seal. All right, so this right here, let me show you. See, if you guys was on the other day, you would have saw what was going on. All right, so they may have removed it, but I'm sure they didn't. All right, so this is supposed to be the seal, the United States seal. You see that right here? All right, now let's do this right here. Not my fault, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go to the White House now. All right, so you remember what I just showed you? All right. All right. See this right here? This right up here. Let me bring it down a little bit. It looks like I should be straight. But this right here is the new seal. The White House. This is their new seal. Let's go back again. That is their new seal. So when they changed it, all right, here you go, right here. You guys saw it, this right here. All right, they won't allow me to pull it up. I could have sworn I could have. But let's go back because I might be able to get the image of it. So if you don't know the changing of the seal and what it meant, then you will not understand what we are talking about. So, I don't see them have it on here. You guys have saw it. You saw it on their news feeds. They always promoting it. Now, you see this right here? See this right here? This right here. You see that right there? That's exactly what we are talking about. That is their new seal. You see this right here? That is their new seal. So, contact the White House. They don't have no numbers on here. The only number they have on here, let me see. They don't have nothing on here. They said they, oh, here we go. 123-456-7890. That's the number they have on here. Here is your new White House seal. This right here. See that right there? This right here. This right here. This is the White House new seal. It is no longer, let's go back here. Oop. Let me do that again. Alright. So as you can see, them motherfuckers got us on restriction as well too. So let's go here. The United States seal. See, this shit right here, man. I got more other stuff over on this location, but I gotta figure out how to do that. But this was the old seal right here. Let me see, they did have it on here the other day when we looked it up. Alright, let me see. That's bullshit coins and shit. We're not looking for the coins. We're looking for the seal. Now let's get out of here, because they obviously trying to hide it now. Alright. Let me see. United Steel, Navy SEAL. Alright. It's obviously obvious they are attempting to stop us from seeing what we had saw the other day, which is cool. I still have all the information anyway, so I'm not even worrying about this. But this is supposed to be the seal. When they changed it to the White House seal, go back here. When they changed it to this seal right here, which was done on March 16th, 2020. We're going to go to that real quick, too. Let's go on YouTube. Maybe they didn't erase it. Because, you know, certain things are starting to become erased now. They're starting to eliminate certain things now because, you know, people are starting to investigate these bitch-ass motherfuckers. So, let's go to March 16th. March 16th was the date when Donald Trump, Joe Biden, all Republican senators, government officials, and world leaders put the world on quarantine. That's when they locked everything down. So, if they didn't erase it, 2020, Donald Trump. This was the day when they changed the seal. Let me see. This is it right here. This is when, you remember this date right here? Press conference. Donald Trump joins the daily COVID-19 pandemic briefing in 2016. Remember this? Y'all do remember this, right? Y'all remember this? Trump holds briefing with novel coronavirus task force, March 16th, 2020. Y'all remember this? Y'all do recall this, right? Y'all do recall all this, right? This is when they changed the seal. Y'all recall this, right? All right, so let's go to their little interviews. Since motherfuckers want to act like they don't understand what's going on, let's see what they saying. Make sure they off of mute.
Power on. Bluetooth.
See, they trying to catch me. Let's
Bluetooth
go back
connected
to them. So y'all do recall this day right here, right? And they find this shit as a joke. Look at the faces that's there. Don't this guy right here look familiar? There go Dr. Fauci right here. Y'all familiar with him too, right? So, you know, Donald Trump didn't have no relationship with Dr. Fauci either, huh? I told you we're going to have proof when it comes to this shit. So here's Donald Trump. There goes Pence. Y'all forgot this shit? Y'all forget all these Jewish motherfuckers that was around? Y'all forget this shit, huh? All right, let's go.
So I'm glad to see that you're practicing social distancing. That looks very nice. It's very good. I want to thank everybody for being here today.
It looks nice that you guys are doing social distancing. 6 feet. 6 feet, huh? 6 feet social distance, huh? Come on, y'all gotta look at it for what it is.
This morning I spoke with the leaders of the G7 nations, and they really had a good meeting. I think it was a very, very productive meeting. I also spoke with our nation's governors, and this afternoon we're announcing new guidelines for every American to follow over the next 15 days as we combat the virus. Each and every one of us has a critical role to play in stopping the spread and transmission of the virus. We did this today. This was done by a lot of very talented people, some of whom are standing with me, and that's available. And Dr. Birx will be speaking about that in just a few minutes. It's important for the young and healthy people to understand that while they may experience milder symptoms, they can easily spread this virus, and they will spread it indeed, putting countless others in harm's way. We especially worry about our senior citizens. The White House Task Force meets every day and continually updates guidelines based on the fast evolving situation that this has become all over the world. It's all over the world. It's incredible what's happened in such a short period of time. On the guidelines of the task force, the new modeling conducted by Dr. Birx, and our consultation with governors, we've made the decision to further toughen the guidelines and blunt the infection now. We'd much rather be ahead of the curve than behind it, and that's what we are. Therefore, my administration is recommending that all Americans, including the young and healthy, work to engage in schooling from home when possible, avoid gathering in groups of more than 10 people, avoid discretionary travel, and avoid eating and drinking at bars, restaurants, and public food courts. If everyone makes this change or these critical changes and sacrifices now, we will rally together as one nation, and we will defeat the virus, and we're going to have a big celebration all together. With several weeks of focused action, we can turn the corner and turn it quickly. A lot of progress has been made. I'm also pleased to report today that a vaccine candidate has begun the phase 1 clinical trial. This is one of the fastest vaccine development launches in history, not even close. We're also racing to develop antiviral therapies and other treatments, and we've had some promising results, early results, but promising, to reduce the severity and the duration of the symptoms. And I have to say that our government is prepared to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, we're doing. We're doing it in every way. And with that, I'd like to just introduce Dr. Birx, who's going to discuss some of the things that we strongly recommend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think you know over the last months, we've taken very bold action to stop the virus from coming to our shores. And because of that, we gained time to really get together and understand the progress across the globe of what has worked and what hasn't worked. We now need to appeal to every single American so that they can have their role in stopping the spread of this virus. We've talked about things before about washing your hands, but we really want to focus on if you are sick, no matter who you are, please stay home. If someone in your household is diagnosed with this virus, the entire household should quarantine in the house to prevent spread of the virus to others. The reason we're taking these strong and bold steps is because we know there is virus spread before you develop symptoms, and then we know that there's a large group, we don't know the precise percent yet, that actually is asymptomatic or has such mild cases that they continue to spread the virus. If your children are sick, please keep them home. Now to our older population or those with pre-existing medical conditions, everyone in the household needs to focus on protecting them. Everyone in the household. I want to speak particularly to our largest generation now, our millennials. I have the mom.
And Jeremiah, yes, I appreciate that, bro, my young lad. Yeah, go ahead. If you like, you could post this live if you want. I appreciate that, bro. So, Yakwa Malachi Zadek, Yakwa Shah, Yakwa La Ben Yakwa. Go ahead. Take care of your business. I appreciate that. And I'm watching you guys. I'm seeing if you guys are posting on here. You know, with me having restrictions, it's kind of hard for me to see certain things. But when I do see them, I will make sure that I'll comment on what you guys are saying. So let's get back to this, though. All right, thanks, though, little Jeremiah. Yakwa Malachi Sadek, Yakwa Shah, Yakwa La Ben Yakwa. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get back into this. So let's go back a few seconds. Well, first, let's start it again.
We're appealing to all, but in homes. We really want people to be separated at this time. To be able to address this virus comprehensively that we cannot see, for which we don't have a vaccine or a therapeutic. The only thing we have right now is the amazing ingenuity and compassion of the American people. We're appealing to all Americans to take these steps, to protect each other, and to ensure that the virus doesn't spread. These guidelines are very specific, they're very detailed. They will only work if every American takes this together to heart and responds as one nation and one people to stop the spread of this virus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Burks. So just to connect with what I mentioned to you in previous discussions in this room, and Dr. Burks said it very well, that in order to be able to contain and curtail this epidemic to not reach its maximum capability, we have a two-pillar approach, one of which I believe has been very effective in preventing the substantial seeding, and namely the travel restrictions that we've discussed many times in this room. The other, equally, if not more important, is when you have infection in your own country, which we do, and I could read the numbers, but they're really essentially what we've seen yesterday, incremental increases both globally as well as in the United States, with the curve doing that. So therefore, the kinds of things that we do are containment and mitigation. What we're mentioning now, the guidelines, when you look at them carefully, I believe if the people in the United States take them seriously, because they were based on some rather serious consideration back and forth. Some may look at them and say they're going to be really inconvenient for people. Some will look and say, well, maybe we've gone a little bit too far. They were well thought out. And the thing that I want to reemphasize, and I'll say it over and over again, when you're dealing with an emerging infectious diseases outbreak, you are always behind where you think you are if you think that today reflects where you really are. That's not word speak. It means if you think you're here, you're really here because you're only getting the results. Therefore, it will always seem that the best way to address it would to be doing something that looks like it might be an overreaction. It isn't an overreaction. It's a reaction that we feel is commensurate, which is actually going on in reality. So take a look at the guidelines, read them carefully, and we hope that the people of the United States will take them very seriously, because they will fail if people don't adhere to them. We have to have, as a whole country, cooperate and collaborate to make sure these get done. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. President, a lot of people are concerned about how long all of this might last. Do you have any kind of estimate that if Americans really were to band together and do what the White House is suggesting, how quickly you could turn this corner?
My favorite question, I ask it all the time. How many times, Anthony? I think I ask him that question every day, and I speak to Deborah, I speak to a lot of them. I get the opinion. So it seems to me that if we do a really good job, we'll not only hold the death down to a level that is much lower than the other way, had we not done a good job, but people are talking about July.
My fault, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back to that. But the reason why I actually did stop that was to reiterate on his involvement. Now, here's a person that says he didn't have no involvement with this, that he was only taking the recommendation of the people he hired to put this bullshit pandemic in order, right? But for some odd reason, they don't like to take accountability of their actions, right? So now, what we have done, we have exposed these motherfuckers for who they are. Now, here you have Donald Trump, with these people that surrounding him, creating what they would call the pandemic, right? This was March 16th, 2020, when Donald Trump, all politics, including Joe Biden, Dr. Fauci, the lady he mentioned, and all these people implemented their policies. It is a known scientific fact that when you are breathing in your own bodily waste, you are giving yourself CO2 poisoning, also known as carbon dioxide poisoning. Now these doctors, so-called doctors, scientists, educators, experts, government officials, world leaders, law enforcement agencies, military, police officers, news media outlets, and the rich, they knew and know this. And the fact that they knew and know this is a crime against humanity. Because what did they do? They started purposely murdering people. COVID-19, all it is carbon dioxide poisoning. That's what that is. Well, it's not only because carbon dioxide poisoning can kill you. Now, they knew this. They knew that when they started putting masks over your face, that you was cutting the circulation of oxygen to enter into the brain. They know this. So the disease wasn't the actual disease, coronavirus or COVID-19 or SARS or whatever these motherfuckers keep implementing. The real disease is ignorance in science and ignorance in the law. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. He who has passe during these times of impasse is the new passe. So when you have people that are disorderly, like we are currently seeing, and they're out of order, it takes a brother like me, Real Talk Radio, LLC, Brother Jeremiah with Real Talk Radio, LLC, to expose these motherfuckers for who they fucking really are. They're frauds. So let's get back to this bullshit ass news outbreak, as they would, the news from March 16th, 2020, when Donald Trump and all politics changed the seal. See, this is the new seal. This is their new seal. So this was the actual time, place, and events that they actually announced the changing of the seal. And they also announced that people were going into quarantine. When you go into amnesty and martial law, you shut everything down. That's exactly what they did. They put us into martial law and amnesty law. But because of people's ignorance of the law, they didn't see what was coming. I saw what was coming. And the beautiful thing about it is on March 15th, 2020, that's when Real Talk Radio LLC was created. That's a testimony. It's, man, that's my misery turned into a ministry. That was Yahweh touching my heart to create a business the day before they changed the seal. Hallelujah. See, that when I say that I've been that I'm blessed and highly favored, yes, we have the seal. So that means we make the laws now. See this? Yes. This is called the seal. This is better than a notary public, bitch. It's better than a judgment from a goddamn judge, you fucking clowns. We make the laws. So we're going to make them according to the way that's going to be fitting for our people and making sure we get rid of you motherfuckers. So let's get back into their bullshit.
numbers, but they're really essentially what we've seen yesterday.
My fault,
Incremental
ladies and gentlemen. I
increases
didn't
both,
realize I still had
globally
it
as
on
well
mute.
as in the United States with the curve doing that. So therefore, the kinds of things that we do are containment and mitigation. What we're mentioning now, the guidelines, when you look at them carefully, I believe if the people in the United States take them seriously, because they were based on some rather serious consideration back and forth. Some may look at them and say they're going to be really inconvenient for people. Some will look and say, well, maybe we've gone a little bit too far. They were well thought out. And the thing that I want to reemphasize, and I'll say it over and over again, when you're dealing with an emerging infectious diseases outbreak, you are always behind where you think you are if you think that today reflects where you really are. That's not word speak. It means if you think you're here, you're really here because you're only getting the results. Therefore, it will always seem that the best way to address it would to be doing something that looks like it might be an overreaction. It isn't an overreaction. It's a reaction that we feel is commensurate, which is actually going on in reality. So take a look at the guidelines, read them carefully, and we hope that the people of the United States will take them very seriously because they will fail if people don't adhere to them. We have to have, as a whole country, cooperate and collaborate to make sure these get done. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. President, a lot of people are concerned about how long all of this might last. Do you have any kind of estimate that if Americans really were to band together and do what the White House is suggesting, how quickly you could turn this corner?
My favorite question, I ask it all the time. How many times, Anthony, I think I ask him that question every day, and I speak to Deborah, I speak to a lot of them, I get the opinion. So it seems to me that if we do a really good job, we'll not only hold the death down to a level that is much lower than the other way, had we not done a good job. But people are talking about July, August, something like that. So it could be right in that period of time where I say it washes through. Other people don't like that term, but where it washes through.
So is this the new normal until the height of the summer?
We'll see what happens, but they think August, could be July, could be longer than that. But I've asked that question many, many times. Yes.
That being said, Mr. President, Americans today and looking forward are living with so much anxiety and so much fear facing uncertainty right now. I'm curious, how are you talking to your own family about this? How are you talking?
So they keep saying these words, fear and anxiety. Let me pause this real quick. They keep saying these words, fear and anxiety. Now, if people really feared these motherfuckers, do you really believe they be out here protesting these motherfuckers? Do you really believe that their anxiety is at its highest peak? Or would you take in consideration that people are fed up with these motherfuckers and we don't hear shit that they have to say because it's all scripted the same? Have you ever took that into consideration? Because I'm the type of brother that fights police. So does that mean I have fear because I fight the police? No, that's the opposite. That's telling you that I will fight these motherfuckers blood to blood, death to death if I have to. So please don't get it scripted wrong when they say that people are living in fear. They are living in fear. That's why they have all these military personnel and police officers that are around them. That's why they're spending money on our funds, our tax dollars, on weapons of mass destruction. So please don't get it twisted when they say that people are living in fear. That's bullshit. That's what they want the people to do. They want them to live in fear. So what do? They keep on repetitiously saying it. You say something enough to somebody 9 times in 1 month, they'll begin to believe this shit. Now, if you have common sense like a brother like me, you won't believe shit that they say. And you'll observe everything they're talking about. You'll listen to all their details. Now, look at this shit right here. Look at that. Is that 6 feet separation? Is this 6 feet separation? They pulled the wool over your eyes and you motherfuckers fell for the motherfucking game.
We've been working with the governors and frankly, the mayors, local government at every level. We have FEMA totally involved. FEMA has been, usually we see FEMA for the hurricanes and the tornadoes. Now we have FEMA involved in this. They've been doing a fantastic job locally, working with people that they know because they work, like as an example, in California, in the state of Washington. They work with them a lot on other things, and they're very familiar, so they're working on it. What you can do, and all you can do, is professional, totally competent. We have the best people in the world. We have really the greatest experts in the world. And someday soon, hopefully it'll end and we'll be back to where it was. But this came up, it came up so suddenly. Look, you were surprised. We were all surprised. We heard about it. We heard about reports from China that something was happening, and all of a sudden, we did make a good decision. We closed our borders to China very quickly, very rapidly. Otherwise we'd be in a very, as Tony has said numerous times, we'd be in a very bad position, much worse than we would be right now. You look at what's happening in other countries. Italy's having a very hard time. But I think that what we do, and I've spoken actually with my son, he says, how bad is this? It's bad. It's bad. But we're going to be hopefully a best case, not a worst case, and that's what we're working for. Yes.
You can clear up some confusion on 2 key fronts. One is about your own test. The other is about containment efforts. Is the administration considering more aggressive containment options, like a quarantine, a national curfew, restricting?
Well, we have that very much. Yeah, we have that very much, and we've been pretty aggressive. We were early with Europe, but we were very, very early with China and other places, and fortunately we were. And as far as containment here, we're coming out with strong suggestions. And, it's becoming a little bit automatic. You look at people, they're not doing certain things. For instance, they're obviously not, I wouldn't say the restaurant business is booming, and bars and grills and all. People are self-containing to a large extent. We look forward to the day when we can get back to normal.
To be specific, what's your second are you considering instituting a nationwide lockdown, a nationwide quarantine? The NSC knocked that down, but there's still some questions about how it all came
At this point, not nationwide, but well, there are some places in our nation that are not very affected at all. But we may look at certain areas, certain hotspots, as they call them. We'll be looking at that, but at this moment, no, we're not.
The second question is, you said you had your coronavirus test Friday night. The White House doctor's office put out a statement around midnight Friday saying that no test was indicated. So when exactly was your test administered?
Well, I had my test. It was late Friday night, and the reason I did it was because I had no symptoms whatsoever. So the doctor said, you have no symptoms, so we don't see any reason. But when I did the press conference on Friday, everybody was going crazy. Did you do the test? Did you do the test? So very late on Friday night, I did the test. And he may have put out, or the doctor may have put out something I don't know what time the letter went out. Maybe it was put out by somebody else. But the results came back, I believe, the following day. And we tested negative.
But the question is, how could the White House doctor's office say a test wasn't indicated, implying that you hadn't had one when in fact you had?
Well, I told them that, and I went totally by what they said, the doctors, more than one. They said you don't have any of the symptoms. They checked what you're supposed to check, and that I didn't have symptoms. But I did a test late on Friday night, and it came back probably 24 hours later or something. They sent it to the labs, came back later. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you had a teleconference with the nation's governors today. And in that teleconference, you told them if they need things like respirators or masks to try to get it on their own. What did you mean by that, and what will the federal
If they can
government
get
do
them
to help?
faster by getting them on their own, in other words, go through a supply chain that they may have, because the governors, during normal times, the governors buy a lot of things, not necessarily through federal government. If they're able to get ventilators, respirators, if they're able to get certain things without having to go through the longer process of federal government, we have stockpiles now, and we're ordering tremendous numbers of ventilators, respirators, masks, and they're ordered, and they're coming, and we have quite a few at this point. I think, Mike, we have a lot. But if they can get them directly, it's always going to be faster if they can get them directly if they need them. And I've given them authorization to order directly. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, one of the big weaknesses in our healthcare system is surge capacity for medical facilities, and I wanted to ask what precautions, what planning is being done to get China was able to build hospitals in a matter of days.
So they're suing all our companies. And if that's going to happen, we want to be the ones that sue, not them.
So I'm going to go back to that. I keep pressing the wrong button. I'm still getting adjusted to all of this. But this was to really prove that Donald Trump had everything to do with the pandemic. And this also was to prove that that they changed the seal. It was on March the 16th, 2020. This was actually the news media conference in regards to this. And I keep doing the same thing. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. And they refused to acknowledge that they had something to do with this. They always pointing fingers. I just want you guys to recognize that how they are always pointing fingers at each other. They always saying one person did one thing, this other person did the other thing. But you're supposed to be the president of the United States who is making all these decisions, right? It shows you also their double standards and how they might say something, but if you're looking at their whole demeanor and you're listening to their language, you would hear that they are hypocrites that contradict themselves. So I told you I was going to go to the email that I sent to myself in regards to the matters that I was bringing up at hand. So we're going to go there. So let me just make sure I get there first. So we're going to keep these open, and I'm going to open up another tab, and I'm going to go to my email. Now, I want you guys to recognize certain things in regards to what I'm saying. Yeah, see, this is the stuff that I be having to go through. I already know that this is already stuff that I already, posted. So could you hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I'm still here. I just got to put in my password. That I shouldn't even have to be doing right now. But this is the stuff that I be having to go through. I don't even know how they're able to even get into my motherfucking account without, but this is this type of shit that you gotta go through when you're dealing with this modern technology bullshit. These motherfuckers are clowns, man. Y'all gonna find out some shit that's gonna really upset you motherfuckers. And when y'all start finding the shit that we know, you're gonna see certain shit for what it is. Alright, so let's get you back to my page. So, this is the stuff that I sent to us. So this was something that was very important. We go out, but this is actually what I sent myself. All right. So, let me see if I could. No, it won't allow me to. Every time I attempt to make this bigger, I don't know, I'm able to do it certain ways, but when I want to do it another way, it don't work. A new window, so I don't want a new window. But we'll read it. It says, why were illegal immigrants from Europe, Israel, and Ukraine able to steal United States citizens' identity and vote for Trump? Mail fraud, mail theft, identity theft, war crimes are coming for you. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas Republican tweeted out a list of places he thinks Republican governors Ron DeSantis of Florida and Greg Abbott of Texas should send migrants. Wait. So they said that they no longer call it genocide. It is now called social re-engineering. Genocide as a social practice reorganizing society under a Nazis and Argentina's military Juntas or Juntas. The pharmaceutical industry is the largest drug distribution industry in the world, yet no one is mentioning their involvement with illegal drugs. Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is used in the pharmaceutical industry which primarily treats severe pain and manage pain after surgery. It is available in various forms. This is a distraction. It is very interesting to see Ukraine, Putin, all these rich Republicans, senators, and world leaders are sitting in the same room currently speaking about creating nuclear warfare. So this doesn't even have anything to do with the pandemic. This is all about them creating enough chaos and confusion so that they can implement their policies by adopting and introducing artificial intelligence surveillance, martial law, amnesty law, and to implement their other policies by adopting nuclear warfare and attempt to state that they're going to drop bombs on certain areas so that they can eliminate these, what they, like he said. Now, I'm going to go back to this because they talking about the diseases. When they talking about diseases, they're talking about the people. And if you're listening to their language, you will understand what's going on. But because most people don't listen to their language, they don't know what's going on. Listen to them. Now, he just contradicted himself. Constantly contradicting himself. Constantly hypocrite. They're hypocrites. They point fingers. They start shit and then point fingers at each other like they all, like they're all not involved. Listen to them. They're a bunch of bitch ass motherfuckers that really deserve their heads blown off.
Good job. But people are talking about July, August, something like that. So it could be right in that period of time where it washes through. Other people don't like that term, but where it washes through.
So is this the new normal until the height of the summer?
We'll see what happens, but they think August, could be July, could be longer than that. But I've asked that question many, many times. Yes.
That being said, Mr. President, Americans today and looking forward are living with so much anxiety and so much fear facing uncertainty right now. I'm curious, how are you talking to your own family about this? How are you talking to your youngest son? Do you empathize with this sense of anxiety? People are really scared.
Yeah. No, I think they are very scared. I think they see that we're doing a very professional job. We've been working with the governors and the frankly, the mayors, local government at every level. We have FEMA totally involved. FEMA has been, usually we see FEMA for the hurricanes and the tornadoes. Now we have FEMA involved in this. They've been doing a fantastic job locally, working with people that they know because they work, like as an example, in California, in the state of Washington. They work with them a lot on other things, and they're very familiar, so they're working on it. What you can do, and all you can do, is professional, totally competent. We have the best people in the world. We have really the greatest experts in the world. And someday soon, hopefully it'll end and we'll be back to where it was. But this came up, it came up so suddenly. Look, you were surprised. We were all surprised. We heard about it. We heard about reports from China that something was happening, and all of a sudden, we did make a good decision. We closed our borders to China very quickly, very rapidly. That was a otherwise we'd be in a very, as Tony has said numerous times, we'd be in a very bad position, much worse than we would be right now. You look at what's happening in other countries. Italy's having a very hard time. But I think that what we do, and I've spoken actually with my son, he says, how bad is this? It's bad. It's bad. But we're going to be hopefully a best case, not a worst case, and that's what we're working for. Yes.
Maybe you can clear up some confusion on two key fronts. One is about your own test. The other is about containment efforts. Is the administration considering more aggressive containment options, like a quarantine, a national curfew, restricting
Well, we have that
domestic
very
air
much.
travel?
Yeah, we have that very much, and we've been pretty aggressive. We were early with Europe, but we were very, very early with China and other places, and fortunately we were. And as far as containment here, we're coming out with strong suggestions. And, it's becoming a little bit automatic. You look at people, they're not doing certain things. For instance, they're obviously not, I wouldn't say the restaurant business is booming, and bars and grills and all. People are self-containing to a large extent. We look forward to the day when we can get back to normal.
To be
Go ahead, what's your
specific,
second question?
are you considering instituting a nationwide lockdown, a nationwide quarantine? The NSC knocked that down, but there's still some questions about how it all came
At this
to be.
point, not nationwide, but, well, there are some places in our nation that are not very affected at all. But we may look at certain areas, certain hotspots, as they call them. We'll be looking at that, but at this moment, no, we're not.
The second question is, you said you had your coronavirus test Friday night. The White House doctor's office put out a statement around midnight Friday saying that no test was indicated. So when exactly was your test administered?
Well, I had my test. It was late Friday night, and the reason I did it was because I had no symptoms whatsoever. So the doctor said, you have no symptoms, so we don't see any reason. But when I did the press conference on Friday, everybody was going crazy. Did you do the test? Did you do the test? So very late on Friday night, I did the test. And he may have put out, or the doctor may have put out something I don't know what time the letter went out. Maybe it was put out by somebody else. But the results came back, I believe, the following day. And we tested negative.
But the question is, how could the White House doctor's office say a test wasn't indicated, implying that you hadn't had one when in fact you had?
Well, I told them that, and I went totally by what they said, the doctors, more than one. They said you don't have any of the symptoms. They checked what you're supposed to check, and that I didn't have symptoms. But I did a test late on Friday night, and it came back probably 24 hours later or something. They sent it to the labs, came back later. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you had a teleconference with the nation's governors today.
Yeah.
And in that teleconference, you told them if they need things like respirators or masks to try to get it on their own. What did you mean by that, and what will the federal
If they
government
can get
do to
them
help?
faster by getting them on their own, in other words, go through a supply chain that they may have, because the governors, during normal times, the governors buy a lot of things, not necessarily through federal government. If they're able to get ventilators, respirators, if they're able to get certain things without having to go through the longer process of federal government, we have stockpiles now, and we're ordering tremendous numbers of ventilators, respirators, masks, and they're ordered, and they're coming, and we have quite a few at this point. I think, Mike, we have a lot. But if they can get them directly, it's always going to be faster if they can get them directly, if they need them. And I've given them authorization to order directly. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, one of the big weaknesses in our healthcare system is surge capacity for medical facilities. And I wanted to ask what precautions, what planning is being done to get China was able to build hospitals in a matter of days are you prepared to use the Corps of Engineers or FEMA to start building surge capacity that we may need in a couple weeks?
Well, first of all, we hope we don't get there, and that's what we're doing, and that's why we're taking a very strict look at this. But we also are looking at areas, and not only looking, we're expanding certain areas. We're taking over buildings that aren't used. We're doing a lot in that regard. We hope we don't have to get there, but we are doing a lot in that regard.
Mr. President, could you clarify something?
So, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, now this is the March 16th, 2020 conference or the briefing that they had about coronavirus and COVID-19. This was around the same time when Donald Trump had put everybody in quarantine, and this is also when they changed the seal. You see this right here behind them? It says the White House, Washington, D.C. That is the changing of the seal. That's when they had changed the seal. They put everybody on quarantine. They also stated that everybody was, basically they shut everything down. And they put us under martial law and amnesty law on this date as well. Because when you change the seal, what that means that everybody has to reinstate their business with whatever state they're in. Because they went into a martial law and amnesty law. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. He who has passe during these times of impasse is the new passe. So if you're really paying attention to the law and you're paying attention to science, you will understand what we are attempting to get out to the public so that they can know exactly what has been going on. Now, this has been going on longer than since 2020. They actually attempted to implement it in 2012, April of 2012. You can go back and visit a New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox game where it shows the word COVID dying or COVIDien, which is spelled COVIDien, COVIDien. And you'll see that that actually is a medical supply industry that had accumulated a whole lot of masks and gloves and ventilators that they had to get rid of but couldn't get rid of because the pharmaceutical industry or these medical institutions were declining on patients. If you know their methods, you know exactly what's going on. See, we know their methods. We know exactly what they're getting ready to do because they already make it public news. So we just point out their language. If you are listening to his language, he just said that he has the greatest team that surrounds him. Now, that was in March 16th of 2020. He currently says that same exact thing with Elon Musk in them. He states that he has the greatest team around him. See, when they're bumping heads, man, you can see they're bumping heads because they go at each other. Zelensky, for instance, they supposed to be all buddies. What happened?
These guidelines say stay home if you're sick. Yesterday, the Vice President said no one should worry about losing a paycheck if they stay home when they're sick. But the House bill exempts companies of 500 employees or more from the paid sick leave requirement, and that's 54% of the American workplace. Why is it a good idea to only require small businesses to provide paid sick leave?
Well, we're looking at that, and we may be expanding that. We are looking at that. We want fairness. We want it for everybody. No, we're looking at that through the Senate, because as you know, the Senate is now digesting that bill. So we may very well be adding something on that. Okay? Good question.
questions here, Mr. President. One going off of what
Yeah, I
you
had
was
to take
asking.
it
How
off
many
of
ventilators and how many
what?
ICU beds do we have right now, and will it be enough?
I could get back.
I had to take it off what YouTube automatically puts it on. They put it on 360. Let me see. They had it on 360p. I had to put it on 1080 HD. Because this is what they do, you know. This is the type of shit that we got to deal with when we're dealing with this fucking institution that subjects people and isolates people and, you know, violates our First Amendment rights. You know, this type of shit we got to deal with, you know.
Back to you with that number. We've ordered a lot. We have quite a few, but it may not be enough. And if it's not enough, we will have it by the time we need it. Hopefully, we won't need them.
And you'll give us the exact number?
Yeah, we'll be
because
able to
so
give
far
you.
they have not given us an exact
Well,
number.
we can give you a number. If it's important, we'll give you a number. Go ahead.
And yesterday you said that this was under tremendous control. Do you want to revisit that statement if we are going to be experiencing this until July or August, 5 more months ahead of
No,
right
when
where we are
I'm
now?
talking about control, I'm saying we are doing a very good job within the confines of what we're dealing with. We're doing a very good job. There's been a tremendous amount of the way they're working together. They're working hand in hand. I think they're doing really a great job. And from that standpoint, that's what I was referring to.
But
Yes,
it's not
Steve, go
under,
ahead.
you're not saying it's under control, right?
I'm not referring to it, meaning the. Yeah, if you're talking about the virus, no, that's not under control for any place in the world. I think I read.
you had said it was,
I think
so I
I
just wanted
read.
to
No, I
clarify.
didn't. I was talking about what we're doing is under control, but I'm not talking about the virus. Yes, please.
The stock market took another hit today. Is the U.S. economy heading into a recession?
Well, it may be. We're not thinking in terms of recession. We're thinking in terms of the virus. Once we stop, I think there's a tremendous pent-up demand, both in terms of the stock market and in terms of the economy. And once this goes away, once it goes through and we're done with it, I think you're going to see a tremendous surge.
Are you looking at
So I just posted something on my live stream. Now it does show that I said thank you for tuning in. It shows that on my live stream. Let me see if I could go there. Because, you know, they, for some odd reason, attempt to stop us from going on our live stream while we're live. We're actually live right now. So let's go here real quick. Let's go to our playlist. Alright. Let me see if I'm even on. I don't even see my live stream right now. So let me go here. Let me go to my videos. Now it takes me off the whole screen. I just see, that's the type of shit I don't understand. Where's my live stream, man? Alright, here we go. Here we go. So now I can't even go on my live stream on here. Let me see. I can't even go on my live stream on here. I don't know what this is about. So let me come off of this because I am still live. But for some odd reason, I can see my live, but I can't see it while I'm live streaming. So I don't know fucking understand this shit. I don't fucking understand why these motherfuckers keep restricting me. But what I had put on here, let me go back now. Let me come off this whole site. But what I had put on here, I don't know if you guys can see that. But what I put was the pharmaceutical industry is the largest drug distribution industry in the world. Yet no one is mentioning their involvement with illegal drugs. That's exactly what I just posted. So I don't know where my shit, you know, is at, because it sure enough ain't showing up on my live stream right now. I can see it on my page that I'm doing, but I don't see it on my other page, which I posted. So let me see if I can post something else. So I don't know if these motherfuckers are really looking at my shit. Now, the next statement I post, I put Senator, okay, there it goes. Alright, yes, so that one came through, but the pharmaceutical industry part didn't come through. I don't understand why that one didn't go through. I don't restrict my own shit. So what the fuck is YouTube on my fucking page for? Stop restricting us. Stop censoring our fucking page. Stop violating our First Amendment rights, you fucking bitch. Excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. That's just a language of endearment. If you don't want your children to watch this shit, don't allow your children to watch this. Because I'm going to say vulgar shit. That's why it states that this is not a video for children. So again, now you have these motherfuckers that's out here that's on some bullshit. Let's get back to them now. Now, I think I got to punch that whole shit back in. Yeah, I got to go through. Wait, hold up. I might be able to get it right here. All right, so we got to type this whole shit back in. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we got to type this whole shit back in. So we're going to go back to that Donald Trump bullshit. March 16th. 16th. 2020. Donald Trump. This is how I was able to find it before. So we're going to do it the same exact way. And I believe we was under the one that said PBS. Alright. Oh shit, look at that shit. You see what the fuck I'm saying? That whole time I'm typing and they want yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're just going through our little traumas like we always do when it deals with this technology bullshit. So we're gonna go to Donald Trump's bullshit ass speech. Alright. Let's see if it pulls it right up for us. So we was at the one, I believe this is the one we was at. Yep, this is the one we were at. Let's get back to where we were at with them. So they really find this shit as a joke, for real. These motherfuckers ain't shit when it comes to this.
Someday soon, hopefully it'll end and we'll be back to where it was.
Alright. So again,
are you considering instituting a nationwide lockdown?
So again, this was that speech where when Donald Trump, all politicians, Republican politicians, Joe Biden, changed the seal. This right here, if you look at this right here in their background, that is the new seal. It says the White House, Washington, D.C. That's their new seal. So this was the date when they changed the seal. So he gets all into the details of what he's getting ready to do, how people are going to be able to benefit off of these new policies that they are implementing. Now, do understand that policies do not overturn the law. So when they keep saying policies, that means they are attempting to break the law. So that's what this is based upon. This is based upon these criminals who are in power today. The same people, bankrupt people who have been funding, now listen to that, have funded wars. The same people, the same rich people who keep getting over on the government. How? Well, you tell us how Elon Musk, who is from South Africa, was able to inherit $400 billion of our tax dollars. $400 billion of our tax dollars. And he's supposed to be from South Africa. Now, we already know that Europeans have went into South Africa and colonized South Africa. Now they're attempting to colonize the whole countries of Africa. Motherfuckers are resisting they bitch ass. So what do they use? They utilize these power grids that they have. And they attempt to use them against us. But see, now people are starting to get familiar with what they are doing. So they are doing everything in their power to stop people like us from getting out the information. So what do? They restrict us. And how long do they restrict us for? Let me show you. Let me show you how long they restrict us for. 106 trillion. Here we go. All right. 106 trillion 751 million 991. I'm sorry. 106 trillion 751 billion 991 million 148,222 days. This is how long they restricted us on Facebook. It says your account actively didn't follow our community standards, so you can't do one or more things you usually do. And they gave me this for 100 and damn near 7 trillion days. I'm glad they feel like I'm gonna live forever. But you're going to restrict me for that long just because I'm bringing out real information? Man, you bitch motherfuckers. That's called a violation of our First Amendment right. Fuck you. I don't respect shit you motherfuckers have to say. Nothing. There ain't shit that you motherfuckers could say to me that'll allow me to believe anything you say. Because it has been proven that everything that you have said and say is bullshit. So let's get back to where we was at. So we was back here with these motherfuckers talking bullshit. Donald Trump implementing their bullshit because he keeps saying that he had no involvement with this shit. But here's your proof. He had all involvement with the whole shit. He had all involvement with the whole shit. And the 77 million so-called people that voted for Donald Trump, they're not United States citizens. Most of them are from Ukraine, Europe, and Israel. We have the proof. We actually have a burglary case against them that also was filed with the United States Postal Service for identity theft, mail fraud, and mail theft. And crimes against humanity and war crimes. Man, we taking this shit as far as it's supposed to go. And when we catch these motherfuckers, because we're going to catch their ass. Didn't they just kill somebody just recently on a firearm? Where they shot at that motherfucker and killed them? This is exactly what they deserve. They deserve the same exact treatment. Fuck these people. They all a part of it. Look, every single one of these motherfuckers, they're a part of it. And I don't give a fuck what none of them say. They don't have nothing they can say to us that's going to dictate their innocence, because they have no innocence. They are all a part of it. We're even talking about PBS NewsHour. All you motherfuckers that was been actively involved with these fucking crimes against humanity, y'all getting y'all shit. Y'all think y'all not. Y'all gonna catch the wrath. And y'all gonna catch the wrath like y'all deserve it. So fuck y'all. Let's get back into their bullshit.
Wide quarantine. The NSC knocked that down, but there's still some questions about how it all came
At this
to be.
point, not nationwide, but well, there are some some places in our nation that are not very affected at all. But we may look at certain areas, certain hotspots as they call them. We'll be looking at that, but at this moment, no, we're not.
The second question is, you said you had your coronavirus test Friday night. The White House doctor's office put out a statement around midnight Friday saying that no test was indicated. So when exactly was your test administered?
Well, I had my test. It was late Friday night, and the reason I did it was because I had no symptoms whatsoever. So the doctor said, you have no symptoms, so we don't see any reason. But when I did the press conference on Friday, everybody was going crazy. Did you do the test? Did you do the test? So very late on Friday night, I did the test. And he may have put out, or the doctor may have put out something at I don't know what time the letter went out. Maybe it was put out by somebody else. But the results came back, I believe, the following day. And we tested negative.
But the question is, how could the White House doctor's office say a test wasn't indicated? implying that you hadn't had one when in fact you had.
Well, I told them that, and I went totally by what they said, the doctors, more than one. They said you don't have any of the symptoms. They checked what you're supposed to check, and that I didn't have symptoms. But I did a test late on Friday night, and it came back probably 24 hours later or something. They sent it to the labs, came back later. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you had a teleconference with the nation's governors today.
Yeah.
And in that teleconference, you told them if they need things like respirators or masks to try to get it on their own. What did you mean by that, and what will the federal
If they
government
can get
do to
them
help?
faster by getting them on their own, in other words, go through a supply chain that they may have, because the governors, during normal times, the governors buy a lot of things, not necessarily through federal government. If they're able to get ventilators, respirators, if they're able to get certain things without having to go through the longer process of federal government, we have stockpiles now, and we're ordering tremendous numbers of ventilators, respirators, masks, and they're ordered, and they're coming, and we have quite a few at this point. I think, Mike, we have a lot. But if they can get them directly, it's always going to be faster if they can get them directly, if they need them. And I've given them authorization to order directly. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, one of the big weaknesses in our healthcare system is surge capacity for medical facilities. And I wanted to ask what precautions, what planning is being done to get China was able to build hospitals in a matter of days. Are you prepared to use the Corps of Engineers or FEMA to start building surge capacity that we may need in a couple weeks?
Well, first of all, we hope we don't get there, and that's what we're doing, and that's why we're taking a very strict look at this. But we also are looking at areas, and not only looking, we're expanding certain areas. We're taking over buildings that aren't used. We're doing a lot in that regard. We hope we don't have to get there, but we are doing a lot in that regard.
Mr. President, could you clarify something? These guidelines say stay home if you're sick. Yesterday, the Vice President said no one should worry about losing a paycheck if they stay home when they're sick. But the House bill exempts companies of 500 employees or more from the paid sick leave requirement, and that's 54% of the American workplace. Why is it a good idea to only require small businesses to provide paid
Well,
sick
we're
leave?
looking at that, and we may be expanding that. We are looking at that. We want fairness. We want it for everybody. No, we're looking at that through the Senate, because as you know, the Senate is now digesting that bill. So we may very well be adding something on that. Okay? Good question.
Two questions here, Mr. President. One, going off of what he was asking, how many ventilators and how many ICU beds do we have right now, and will it be enough?
I could get back to you with that number. We've ordered a lot. We have quite a few, but it may not be enough, and if it's not enough, we will have it by the time we need it. Hopefully, we won't need them.
And you'll give us the exact number?
Yeah, we'll be
because
able to
so far
give you-
they have not given us an exact
Well,
number.
we can give you a number. If it's important, we'll give you a number. Go ahead.
And yesterday you said that this was under tremendous control. Do you want to revisit that statement if we are going to be experiencing this until July or August, 5 more months?
So it looked like they illegally shut down my stream. Let me see. Because I'm looking at it right now. It says stream unavailable. So let me go back here. Maybe that was just a tech. No, it shows that I don't have no availability now. So let me go back. Yeah, it shows that I'm. Yeah, so I'm gonna post this up on YouTube anyway. But why would they stop my stream? Why did?
Ahead of
Yeah,
right
when
where we
when
are
I'm
now?
talking about control, I'm saying
Why did Facebook stop my stream? I mean, YouTube stopped my stream. Because, you know, we were just on. We were doing really good. What's going on? Why did they stop our stream, ladies and gentlemen? Does anybody know why they would stop our stream? What would cause them to stop our stream? So, you guys saw it. You guys saw them stop our stream. So let's see if we could get back to it again. Why would they do that? Why would YouTube stop our stream? Can anybody answer this question? Because it was starting to get into the juicy part. But you guys can look that up. That's actually Donald Trump's March 16th, 2020 talk. And make sure you get to the one where they are talking about the coronavirus. I'll show you guys. I'm gonna actually pull it up. Maybe if they didn't, because if they did not stop us from seeing it, which most likely they will, but then again they might have not. But why would they stop my stream though? What would cause them to do that shit? People were starting to tune in. Was that the fact? Was that the reason why YouTube stopped our stream? Because people were starting to tune in? Is that the reason why? YouTube? You guys hate competition? Huh? Because that's exactly what it shows us. It shows that you guys hate competition. You really hate competition. You hate people that actually can do better than you can, huh? Alright, so this is the one that we was watching, where they stopped our stream. So let's get a little further into this. Because you seen, as you saw on that one, you saw, what's his face?
Fall into place, yes, please.
Mr. President, a lot of rumors last night that you were going to put in a national curfew or some kind of, texting
I've been
stuff.
reading, I've been watching.
Right, exactly, me too. Your people were...
So, they stopped our stream. Why would they stop our stream? Why would they stop our stream? I'm bothered by that. So you guys went a couple of seconds without us streaming, right? Why? Now, we didn't stop the stream. We was actually looking at it. We was, enjoying this with you guys. That's called censorship. So, as I've been showing you guys, Facebook has us censored for 106 trillion 751 billion 991 million 148,222 days. This is what Facebook has us censored. Now, this motherfucker's talking about warfare. And they allowing him to stay up on there? Stay up on Facebook? But us bringing out real information has us locked out of Facebook for almost... Well, not locked out because they... Well, it's complicated to explain because if you don't physically see everything in front of your face, you don't exactly know what's been going on. But we have been restricted by Facebook on numerous occasions. And, we definitely have the proof of that. We have actually a journal. And we also have proof of what we are saying. So, let's go to our page. Alright. So I can show you throughout the whole... throughout my whole page on how many times Facebook has restricted us. I had several accounts that have been suspended by Facebook, Meta, YouTube, and all these other entities that's out here only because we are getting out real information. Here's one right here. Alright, we suspended your account 100... Yakwasha Ben Yakwa, we suspended your account. 180 days left to appeal or will permanently disable your account. Suspended on February the 19th, 2025. See? Has came from Messenger. Messenger is a part of Facebook. Facebook Meta is still violating my First Amendment rights. Come on, man. So we got to keep dealing with this bullshit. Oh, that perfect, though. See this right here? That's called COVIDin. 13 years later, have you recognized your COVID yet? April 21st, 2020 to 2012, New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox game. Look what we have here. COVID dying. Fenway Park, 108th, Brinder Drug, whatever. What did we see here, ladies and gentlemen? Let's make it a little bit bigger. COVID dying. This is actually on April. Let me go back to it. This was April. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Wow, wait. Oh, I forgot. This was April 21st, 2021. Right, 2012. April 21st, 2012. This was the Yankee versus Boston Red Sox game. Yankees had came back that day, and that was the only reason why I really looked at that, was because of the comeback. And I started noticing these little intricate details of things. You know, the devil was into the details. So the devil ass has been plotting this shit since 2012. If you're familiar with Agenda 21, you'll actually know exactly what I'm talking about. They are attempting to implement that in 2021 as well. Agenda 21, where they was getting ready to introduce a fleet of military jets that was created by JetBlue. You can get the information on that. That should be public information. If you cannot receive that information anymore, you have already known that your government has illegally mishandled information that is public information. It doesn't matter because we already have it in this location right here, and all our information is right here, but we're not going to show you, so you don't get to see that shit. But we have the information, and not only that, we have hold on one second, I want to show you our little journal. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our journal. This some of our little journal right here. And this is more of our little journal right here. So we definitely have over 1,000 pages worth of information that we're definitely going to share with the people. We also have evidence on the people who voted for Donald Trump. The 77 million people that voted for Donald Trump. You know what an accessory to a crime is? That's exactly what you guys are committing. You're accessory to a crime. So let's come off of this real quick. So, again, we're going to go back to this real quick. It's that documentation that we've been saying when they changed the seal. If you look right here, that's the new seal. It's called the White House seal. It says the White House, Washington, D.C. That's their new seal. That's what they changed on. If you look at the date, March 16th, 2020, let's go down here. Donald Trump holds briefing with novel coronavirus task force. And this was on March 16th, 2020. Let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen.
saying this is a foreign disinformation campaign. Is that what's going on? Are people messing with us on the internet?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that I can't tell you if they are or not. And, I think a lot of the media actually has been very fair. I think people are pulling together on this. I really think the media has been very fair. I think it could be that you have some foreign groups that are playing games, but it doesn't matter. We haven't really determined to do that at all, and hopefully we won't have to. That's a very big step. It's a step we can take, but we have not decided to do it. Jennifer, go.
Mr. President, two things, one on airlines and one on
Yes.
Jeff Bezos. Can you talk a little bit specifically about what you'd like to do to help the airlines, first of all? And then second of all, we heard that Jeff Bezos has been in contact with the White House daily. Can you say what he's been asking for or proposing?
Well, I've heard that's true. I don't know that for a fact, but I know that some of my people have, as I understand it, been dealing with them or with him, and that's nice. We've had tremendous support from a lot of people that can help, and I believe he was one of them. As far as the airlines are concerned, the airlines, we're going to back the airlines 100%. It's not their fault. It's nobody's fault unless you go to the original source, but it's nobody's fault. And we're going to be in a position to help the airlines very much. We've told the airlines we're going to help them.
They want $25 billion.
Well, we're going to be helping, we're going to be backstopping the airlines. We're going to be helping them very much, John. It's very important.
What will you do about the stock market, sir?
$25 billion for the passenger carriers and $4 billion for cargo?
We're going to be looking at it very strongly. We have to back the airlines. It's not their fault. In fact, they were having a record season. Everybody was. They were having record seasons, and then this came out, and it came out from nowhere. So not their fault, but we're going to be backing the airline, yeah.
Stocks continue to fall today. Would the White House support negative rates?
Best thing I can do for the stock market is we have to get through this crisis. That's what I can do. That's the best thing we can do. That's what I think about. Once this virus is...
It was about stocks. Stocks were tumbling. People were not going to these doctors. They were not going to the pharmaceutical industry. They was not trusting in the pharmaceutical industry. Dr. Sebi. Let's bring up his name. Now, I bring up his name because here's a person that was known to have cured certain elements, certain diseases. You can go research him and see him. Now, maybe they might not agree with what he does. Nonetheless, that does not give you the right to take him out because he was healing people. When you are dealing with the pharmaceutical industry, which is the largest drug distribution industry in the world, this is the things that they do. They will literally take you out just because you are attempting to interfere with their grants that are given to them by the United States government. Please, let's not mix up grants with tax dollars. Two separate entities have nothing to do with each other. Grants are given to people because it's free money. It has been contributed towards society. This is the finances that have been given to people so that they can implement what they have going if it's beneficial to the world. Tax dollars, on the other hand, is the money that's coming out of our taxes and going towards the federal government, who spend only our tax dollars on wars. Let's get that straight. Well, so when they talking about cutting off grants and putting grants towards the wars, now we have a problem.
is gone, I think you're going to have a stock market like nobody's ever seen before.
Thank you, Mr. People be voting tomorrow, Mr. President?
Mr. President, the other day you said you don't take
He'll be back in a
responsibility.
second. He'll be back in a second. I think the question that I think maybe John asked about until July, the guidelines are a 15-day trial guideline to be reconsidering. It isn't that these guidelines are now going to be in effect until July. What the president was saying is that the trajectory of the outbreak may go till then. Make sure we don't think that these are solid in stone till July. Yeah.
That would be the outside number. Yeah.
Mr. President, you've been criticized.
Hold on one second, please, go ahead.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Follow up, Senate Republicans, do you want Senate Republicans to change the package that passed the House last week, even though you
I
were
think they may
excited
make it
about
even better. Look, they're working together very well with the House. They're working very much in unison, like the question before. They're working to only enhance it and make it better and make it fair for everybody. And that's what we're looking to do. So we may go back and forth with the House a little bit, but both will be in a very positive fashion. Please.
Yeah, Mr. President, these new guidelines say avoid social gatherings in groups of more than 10 people. The CDC's recommendations yesterday were for people to avoid gatherings of more than 50 people. What's evolved in you and your team's thinking in just the past 24 hours? And also, what exactly do you need to see in a stimulus
Well, let
bill?
me just have the professionals answer that. Would you like to do that?
Great. Thank you, and thank you for that question. So we have been working on models day and night around the globe to really predict, because some countries in our very early stage, like the United States, we've been working with groups in the United Kingdom. So we had new information coming out from a model, and what had the biggest impact in the model is social distancing, small groups, not going in public in large groups. But the most important thing was if one person in the household became infected, the whole household self-quarantined for 14 days. Because that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this video is just to prove that Facebook, YouTube are censoring people. I also wanted to bring into light how they contradict themselves when it comes to these matters. Now, here we have currently a president that says he was against this whole pandemic, right? And the quarantine and all the things that had occurred, right? Yet here he is announcing what they are getting ready to do. Now, this specific briefing was the briefing when they changed the seal, the White House seal. You see that right behind them? That's when they changed the seal. This was March 16th of 2020. This is what I was attempting to show the people so that they can connect the dots on what has been going on for the past 5 years, since 2020. Now, we have proof that can prove that it was Donald Trump who signed the bill that allowed transgenders in schools and pedophiles in girls' locker rooms. Now, we have the proof with that. We also have the proof that it was Donald Trump who started all of these bullshit-ass policies. We have the proof. So now they have to prove what we have been saying isn't true. Now we can see how many people we have drawn out already. Look at all these people that you have never seen in your life finally starting to come out of their bunker. If you're familiar with underground bunkers, you would understand what I'm saying. I can actually bring that up and show you guys that too. But see, when you're dealing in a society where people want to put their heads under the ground like ostriches and pretend shit ain't happening, this is the type of shit that you have to deal with. It's a double standard, hypocritical society that has always been operating in this platform for how many years? We're talking about a 400-year history of Europeans who are known as warmongers that are doing this bullshit. And they want to keep pointing fingers at each other. No, we're proving that all of them have involvement. They're all involved. So whether they're pointing fingers at each other, no, these motherfuckers all have involvement. Stop being fucking deterred from their bullshit their dumb shit that they are attempting to put out here. Look at the evidence. The evidence shows you exactly what's been going on.
That stops 100% of the transmission outside of the household. And as we talked about early on, it's silent. We had another silent epidemic, HIV. And I just want to recognize the HIV epidemic was solved by the community, the HIV advocates and activists who stood up when no one was listening and got everyone's attention. We're asking that same sense of community to come together and stand up against this virus. And if everybody in America does what we ask for over the next 15 days, we will see a dramatic difference, and we won't have to worry about the ventilators, and we won't have to worry about the ICU beds, because we won't have our elderly and our people at the greatest risk having to be hospitalized.
PPE, Dr. Burks, can we ask you to comment on the equipment, Doctor?
Go ahead. Yes, Mike, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very productive call today with governors. We talked about the new rollout of testing that we described yesterday, and drive-through and community-based testing. And I know how grateful the President is for the efforts that governors are making, and now with the Admiral and the United States Public Health Service as well as FEMA, we made great progress today in coordinating those efforts. But the other issue that was raised with the President today was personal protective equipment. And the reason I mentioned testing is because one of the recommendations that we have for states is that these remote testing sites make a priority of two groups. One would be people over the age of 65 that have symptoms. We don't want them to go to hospitals or emergency rooms. We want them to go to a remote site in a parking lot or at a isolated community location. But the other category is our healthcare workers. We want to make sure that our healthcare workers have the opportunity to be tested, and using that new high throughput test that the President arranged with our major commercial labs, we'll be able to do that much more expeditiously. So we're putting a real priority on our extraordinary healthcare workers that are at this very hour coming alongside people that are struggling with the coronavirus and people that are concerned that they may have been exposed. The other piece is we're grateful that the legislation passed by the House of Representatives includes liability protection for N95 masks produced by companies like 3M in Minnesota, by Honeywell. Literally tens of millions of masks are produced every year for industrial purposes, for construction. But the health experts say they can be used just as readily to protect healthcare workers.
So I'm going to put them on blast again. Let's get back to it. So, let me show you how bullshit these motherfuckers are. So let's go back here. See that right there? COVID-dying or COVID-dying, because you motherfuckers were dying of ignorance. So, and y'all didn't do y'all studies. Let's look up that word COVID-dying. And let's see what it is. COVID-dying or dying. COVID-dying. Let's look and see what that is. Health tech for digital age. COVID-dying. Here we go. Let's go to Wikipedia. COVID-dying was a Irish headquartered global healthcare product company and manufacturer. Look, this article was updated, please, and that was in August of 2022. So here you are. COVID-dying became an independent publicly traded company after being spun off from Tyco International in 2007. It was purchased by, we're going to go to that right there, Metronet in a transaction that closed in 2025, and now merged company is headquartered in Ireland, where Covidine was based. Covidine was formed when Tyco International spun off its healthcare business. In 2009, acquired Aspect Medical System, a manufacturer of brain monitoring sensors and monitors, for $210 million. In 2010, Covidine acquired Sematics and manufacturer of Invos, INVOS, regional saturation monitors for $250 million. Newport Medical Instrument, a modest ventilator provider. What does it say? Ventilator provider and manufacturer, was purchased by Covidine in 2012. Remember I showed you that COVID thing? Let's go back to it. In 2012, you see this right here? This is what? April 21st, 2012. See how, look, when you start doing this research, you start finding things. Now, we're looking at these numbers. So now you got $235 million. Then you have $42 billion. Come on, man. Y'all motherfuckers ain't seen this shit. I'm not going to get all into this. This is actually what it's called. It's called Covidine or Covidine. It's spelled COVID, like COVID-19. Covidine. Covidine. Here you go. This is it right here. They were founded in 2007. I guess dysfunction 2015. They merged with Metro. Let's go here. Metronic. Another Irish company. Medical device company. See, when you start looking into things, you start seeing things and you start finding things. And this is what we do. We investigate them. How do we investigate them? We just look at the shit that they be saying. They say it in their language. So this company was actually bankrupt. Another company purchased it. And this is how it is always going to keep on happening. It's sort of like X or Twitter, Twitch, whatever one of that. Who got access to that? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is bankrupt. How the fuck is he able to get a multi-billion-dollar company and he's bankrupt? Look at the patterns. You'll see it. So that was just a real quick update on that right there. Since nobody, you guys don't look. Y'all don't do your investigative research. We do. This is how we know so much things. Now, we don't know everything. We don't know everything at all. Actually, I don't know nothing. In actuality, I'm finding out things as I'm going. So I'm learning something new every single day. So I don't know nothing. Yet I'm learning things new every single day. And this is the only reason why I keep doing my diligent research. It says the devil is in the details. You're talking about demonic ass motherfuckers who have collaborated with each other on a demonic platform, who have already told you they spent years in attempting to figure this one out.
From respiratory ailments. 3M and other companies were not able to sell those to hospitals, but the president negotiated with the Democratic leadership of the House and Senate we've added a provision to the bill that will literally, from one company alone, add another 30 million masks per month back to the marketplace. We're strengthening the supply chain, and healthcare workers around America can be absolutely certain that the President and our entire team are going to continue to put the health of America first and put first our healthcare workers across this country that are meeting the needs of the people of our country.
Mr. Vice President, how many test kits have been sent out and how many people can actually be tested?
I think the Admiral can answer that. And you might want to talk about the roving also.
So thank you very much for that. As we talked about yesterday, we're really entering a new phase of testing. At first, we were at the initial phase where the CDC-developed test was only available in public health laboratories in the CDC. Works very well for a few thousand tests per day after it gets running. We're now moving into a phase that the big commercial laboratories with high throughput screening have availability. So as we talked about last week, because of the historic efforts of the FDA, a Roche test and, as the President predicted, a Thermo Fisher test were both produced last week under an emergency use authorization. 1.9 million of those tests will be sequentially into the ecosystem this week. From the information we have right now, 1 million tests are available with all the reagents, everything ready to go, primarily at the reference labs called Quest, LabCorp, and a couple others. Now, it doesn't matter if they're not in your neighborhood, because every day when people get tests, a little white box goes out in front, it gets shipped by an incredible distribution system. The test resulted and it's electronically reported. So these are available to people nationwide. We expect more and more than 1 million coming on board this week as the reagents come up and as people with the testing capacity validate that in their own hospitals and other places. And in the future, we expect at least 2 million next week and at least 5 million the week thereafter. There are also a whole growth of what's called laboratory determined testing or laboratory-derived testing, where individual laboratories, because of the regulatory deregulation of the FDA, can develop their own tests and start using them. So if you're a CLIA-certified lab with complexity, you can do that. So the point is, testing is now entering sort of what we normally do in the healthcare system, where big labs in a high throughput basis receive these through normal channels. So that part of it is really underway.
Do you know how many Americans have actually been tested? Do you have a number?
There is a number. I don't have that number because I've been working on setting up this distribution system. So this is where we are. The state and public health laboratories in the CDC are published every day on the CDC website. The CDC gets feeds from LabCorp and Quest, and they get that on a daily basis. What is not being received right now, and Ambassador Birx is fixing, is that these homegrown tests in highly complex labs don't necessarily get reported in the system. However, as we move forward, particularly in the commercial phase of where we are right now, we expect about 80 to 85% of the tests to flow right into the CDC.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio LLC, where our talk is always real. So as the title stated, Facebook, Meta, and YouTube illegal censorship. So right now, we're on YouTube and we're proving that Donald Trump had something to do with the pandemic, the quarantine, the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. SARS, which is an acronym for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. SARS, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, is also a symptom that is a part of carbon dioxide poisoning. Now, it is a known scientific fact that when you are breathing in your own bodily waste, you are giving yourself CO2 poisoning, also known as carbon dioxide poisoning. Now, these doctors, scientists, educators, experts, government officials, world leaders, military, law enforcement agencies, police officers, news media outlets, and the rich, they knew and they know this. And the fact that they knew and know this is a crime against humanity. So now, what we are going to do, we're going to pull up CO2 poisoning. And we're going to show the people the effects of CO2 poisoning. If, you know, your government is real slick, if they didn't remove carbon dioxide poisoning, because I see carbon monoxide, but I don't see CO2. CO2 poisoning is CO2. See, they going according to carbon monoxide. We're talking about carbon dioxide. So CO2 poisoning. See, let me see that. CO2 poisoning. All right. No, there's no misunderstanding. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It seems there might be a misunderstanding in your query. The information provided about carbon monoxide, CO poisoning, not carbon dioxide, CO2 poisoning. No, I know exactly what I'm going after. So I didn't inquire about that shit. I inquired about carbon dioxide poisoning. So let's do it again. Carbon dioxide. Alright, so it came up right there. I know what the fuck I'm asking for. I didn't ask these motherfuckers to substitute my conversation. Carbon dioxide. It's also known as CO2 poisoning. These motherfuckers know when you're breathing in your own goddamn bodily waste, you're giving yourself CO2 poisoning. That's called carbon dioxide. Motherfucking dry ice has the solid form of carbon dioxide. Motherfucking fire extinguishers have carbon dioxide. Shut the fuck up. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, you fucking clowns. Carbon dioxide is a chemical compound with the chemical formula of CO2. It is made up of atoms. It is found of gas state at room temperature and at normally encountered. Where am I at? What's it? Concentrations is it is odorless as the source of carbon in the carbon cycle atmospheric. CO2 is the primarily carbon source for life on Earth. In the air, carbon dioxide is the transparent to visible light but absorb infrared radiation. Acting as a greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide is soluble in water and is found in groundwork, lakes, ice caps, sea water. It is a trace gas in Earth's atmosphere at 421 parts per million ppm, or about 0.042% as May of 2020, having risen from pre-industrial levels of 280 ppm, or about 0.028%. Burning fossil fuels is the main cause of these increased CO2 concentrations, which are the primary cause of climate change, as they would call. Its concentration in Earth's pre-industrial atmosphere since late in the Precambrian was regulated by organisms and geological features, plants, algae, and cyanobacteria use process called photosynthesis, which produce oxygen as a waste product. In turn, oxygen is consumed and CO2 is released as waste by all aerobatic organisms. When they biolize organic compounds to produce energy by respiration, CO2 is released from organic minerals when they decay or compose. Look, let me show you. You see that? That's starting to decay or combust, such as the forest fires. Forest fires? Does that sound familiar? When carbon dioxide dissolved in water, it forms carbonate, and mainly bicarbonate HCO3, which causes ocean acidification as atmospheric CO2 levels increase. Carbon dioxide is 53% more dense than dry air, but is long-lived and thoroughly mixed in the atmosphere. About half of excess CO2 emissions to the atmosphere are absorbed by land and ocean carbon sinks. These sinks can become saturated and are vital as decay, and wildfires result into CO2 being released back into the atmosphere. So you wondering how come these fires are starting? What are they doing? If they're spraying the sky with motherfucking dry ice, mercury and aluminum, what the fuck are they doing? If they causing you motherfuckers to breathe in your own carbon dioxide waste, what are they doing? But see, because you guys are ignorant to the fact that we are talking about a third grade level of education and science, this is what's causing people to fall. So, for me, if you die because of this, it's not, look, it was your choice. Because you had the opportunity to listen to brothers and sisters like us who have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to this. Now, I may not read it according to the way that you guys want me to read it, but I'm reading it according to the way that people can understand what I'm saying. So, I like reading like this because I don't like sounding like your pretty ass, high class ass, fucking bum ass motherfuckers that's out here that think that they know everything. Because I don't know everything. What I do know is that I was classified and certified as a scientific and mathematical genius. And this is one of the areas that I actually studied. I did a thesis on CO2 poisoning. This is the reason why I know it so well. It just so happens that they chose to choose something that I actually have a bunch of knowledge in, and I can actually prove it. I can put the whole thesis together, show you exactly the effects of what it's doing, prove it to you by, man, I'll spray a motherfucking fire extinguisher in your fucking throat, and you tell me what's gonna happen to your bitch ass. You'll die instantly, you fucker. And that's what I'm gonna do to these motherfuckers. Oh, y'all wanna keep playing with this shit? So now here you got COVID-19, which is also known as COVID-19, that actually was a medical supply industry that over-purchased medical supplies. So now how do you get rid of them? Oh, we'll start a fucking pandemic. We'll start something where we'll make people start purchasing this shit. But you guys don't want to listen to somebody like me. Why? Because y'all figure that he's stupid. He don't know anything. But they're telling you themselves. They in your motherfucking face with this shit, and you still don't want to believe this shit, huh? You dumb motherfuckers.
DC, we know them. That's not good enough for Ambassador Burke. She wants 100, and we'll work on that.
Sir, are you?
So I think just to put it a different way, a lot of testing has been going on, and I don't believe anybody's been able to do what we're doing and what we will be doing.
And let me just say that we talked about the drive-through testing yesterday. I want it to be clear to everybody, this is just another tool for states and local public health systems and healthcare systems to use. It's not replacing testing that goes on in a doctor's office or in a hospital, or if you go to your doctor and wants to get tested in that office. This is just another tool that we're helping the states to have. And again, as we talked about, this is modeled on the FEMA-based points of distribution system, optimized for testing. We expect this week, we now have gear, people being shipped right now today that will be in over 12 states with multiple sites, many of states having multiple sites, to start augmenting the local capacity and really providing the state and the local people what they need as another way for people to get tested.
So this has never been done before. That's never been done, and certainly not on a level like that. And I will say that I think I can speak for the professionals that if you don't have the symptoms, if your doctor doesn't think you need it, don't get the test. Don't get the test. I think that's very important. Not everybody should run out and get the test. That's right. But we're able to handle tremendous numbers of people. John?
Mr. President, earlier today, Governor Cuomo of New York said that he believes that hospital capacity soon will be overwhelmed and implored you to call on the Army Corps of Engineers to build temporary facilities to house patients. Is that something
we're looking into it? We've heard that. We've heard it from really two places. There are two places that have specifically, New York being one, and we are looking into it very strongly. Yeah. Steve, go ahead, please.
Sir, how have you changed your own behavior to take account of this virus? Are you washing your hands more?
Oh, I've always washed my hands a lot. I wash my hands a lot, probably, maybe if anything more, certainly not less.
What was it like taking the test?
It's not something I want to do every day, I can tell you that. It's, it's a little bit of good doctors in the White House, but it's a test. It's a test. It's a medical test. Nothing pleasant about it.
You had said that in a tweet that Governor Cuomo should be doing more.
I think he can do more.
What specifically
but I think
should he be doing?
I think he can do more, and it's an area of the country that's very hot right now. I think New Rochelle, and a place I know very well. I grew up right near New Rochelle. I think it's an area that has to be tamped down even more because it's a hotbed. There's no question about it. So I think they can look at doing it. But we're getting along very well. We've had a very, in fact, I noticed he made some statements just now that the relationship with the federal government has been good. The federal government has done everything they've wanted us to do. But we can. I think it's very important that all of the governors get along very well with us and that we get along with the governors, and I think that's happening.
So, I just posted on my Real Talk Radio LLC page off of it, and I said illegal immigrants from Europe, Israel, and Ukraine were able to steal United States civilians' identity and vote for Donald Trump. Now, I just posted that on my page. Didn't come up. So, we already know that fucking YouTube is censoring our fucking page. They on bullshit because they always have been. These fucking clowns, they're nothing but fucking clowns that deserve their asses whooped. So when we come out on March 16th, 2025, we will also be out on March 17th of 2025 as well. When we come out, we don't want to hear no one say anything to us in regards to this matter, especially when we start tearing shit up. Now, we gave you the opportunity to chill with this shit. But for the past how many years, you motherfuckers think this is a joke? The more you think it's a joke, the more the game is going to be played. The more you think that we're playing, the more serious we're going to become. If we start doing what we have to do to eliminate these motherfuckers, it's going to happen. And regardless to what any of you motherfuckers feel or say, too fucking bad. You should have stopped them before you should have stopped them before you fucking attempting to stop us from getting this information out. So as we saying, and we're making this crystal fucking clear for all you fucking clowns that think this shit is a fucking joke. When we come out, and when we come out the way we do, we don't want to hear shit you motherfuckers gotta say, cause ain't shit you motherfuckers gonna say to us is going to stop us from doing what we must to make sure we destroy this fucking racist systemic system that has been put into play for over 400 years. Fuck you. You don't have nothing to do with us right now, especially if you're resisting us. We will make sure we do what we have to do to make sure we destroy these motherfuckers. And there ain't nothing you motherfuckers can say or do to us that is going to stop us. So look at this date right here. You see this? Every year we're going to do the same exact shit if we got to keep doing it for the next 400 years. Every year on the 16th of March, we're going to do the same exact shit. And if these motherfuckers want to keep playing with us, we'll keep destroying shit. And sooner or later, they're going to we're not going to destroy shit in our communities. And you motherfuckers come in our communities again with that bullshit, we're fucking you up. We are going to beat your motherfucking ass. We're going to destroy they shit. You motherfuckers come in our shit and try to destroy our shit, we're beating your ass. We're going in they shit, and we're going to destroy their shit. And we're going to take what we want from their shit. Since they want to take from us, we're going to start taking from them. So on March 16th of 2025, we will be out there. March 17th of 2025, we will be out there. So if we decide that we want to destroy shit, do understand the reason why it's coming.
I don't know if this is a question for you or for Dr. Burke, but Dr. Burke said that it is the millennials who are going to lead us through this, and that now is the time to look out for the older people in our home. Older might be a state of mind, not necessarily an age. So for those millennials of us who have parents who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, what is older? What should we tell them at this point?
Well, if I was Dr. Fauci, I would tell you there's a physiologic age and a numerical age. So older people with pre-existing conditions. And what do we mean by that? You know, significant heart disease, significant kidney disease, significant lung disease, any immunosuppression, any recent treatment for cancer, any of those pieces in any household. Now, why do I think the millennials are the key? Because they're the ones that are out and about. And they're the most likely to be in social gatherings. And they're the most likely to be the least symptomatic. And I think we've always heard about the greatest generation. We're protecting the greatest generation right now and the children of the greatest generation. And I think the millennials can help us tremendously by having, plus they need to communicate with each other. Public health people like myself don't always come out with compelling and exciting messages that a 25 to 35-year-old may find interesting and something they will take to heart. But millennials can speak to one another about how important it is in this moment to protect all of the people. Now, you could be 40 and have a significant medical condition and be of substantial risk. You could be 30 and having come through Hodgkin's disease or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and be of a significant risk. So there are risk groups in every age group, but there's more millennials now than any other cohort, and they can help us at this moment.
Does
Mr. President, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. You already talked. Mr. President, the other day you said that you were not responsible for the testing shortfall. Very simple question. Does the buck stop with you? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your response to this crisis?
I'd rate it a 10. I think we've done a great job. And it started with the fact that we kept a very highly infected country, despite all of even the professionals saying, no, it's too early to do that. We were very, very early with respect to China. And we would have a whole different situation in this country if we didn't do that. I would rate it I would rate ourselves and the professionals. I think the professionals have done a fantastic job. As far as the testing, you heard the Admiral. I think the testing that we've done, we really took over an obsolete system, or put it maybe in a different way, a system that wasn't meant to do anything like this. We took it over. And we're doing something that's never been done.
Area as well, too. All in one. And I think the one thing that I've brought to this job is actually saying that I'm going to ask questions that haven't been asked, because I'm going to come to this. I don't view this as a career or stepping in the sense of saying what do I do next. Yeah. Mine is what I do now. So I'm asking, why are we doing this? Don't bring to me we've always.
So as I was saying, I'm sorry about that. Yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio LLC, where our talk is always real. As we were saying, now, we normally would get on live now from Fox and we'll post. As you can see, it says chat is disabled for this live stream. That is called an illegal censorship. So, how can you, now this is replay. This ain't even a fucking live broadcast. It's actually replay. As you can see right here, it says replay. If you don't see it, we'll bring it down. Hold on one second. It shows, now it don't show replay, but you saw it. It showed replay. So now we on their bullshit ass site right now, and this motherfucker right here, the one that you just saw, he loves censoring our posts. Josh, Andrew, Andy, Mike, Austin, they all censor our posts. They all do. We have proof already on that as well. You can go back to our videos and see this shit. So now, currently there are 812 people watching right now. Normally, they'll have their chat available, but they don't have chat available today. I don't know what reason they don't have it today. Nonetheless, it does not bother me. I'm not giving a fuck about it. It's just showing you that they are illegally censoring people. That's called an illegal censorship. This also, let's go back over here. This is Facebook. Facebook is also illegally censoring us. So we'll go back to, see, there's one right there where they illegally censored us. Alright, we'll go to some other ones. Now, these are all the organizations that's a part of the same people. They're all a part of the same shit. All these that you see, they're all a part of their agenda. Gentrification, depopulation, extortion, exploitation, crimes against humanity, war crimes. Look, see this right here? That's chemical trails. That's what we're talking about when it comes to chemical trails. They're actually spraying, that's actually mercury, aluminum, and dry ice is spraying in the air. We proved that too. And then, the aviation, Sean Duffy, who just came in, They so happen to have all these, see, this is the information I'll be sharing. They so happen to have all these aviation accidents. Look at this. Wait. Let's go back here. Who's this right here? Isn't that Jeffrey Epstein with Donald Trump? Yeah. See, this is what they don't want you to see. Okay, here goes Joe Biden. I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle of racial jungle. You understand what I'm saying? Now, here are all these people that's supposed to be at war, but they all, shaking hands. There goes the seal. It's the new seal of America. This is what they're afraid of right now. See, as you can see, it was established in Illinois in 2020. March of 2020. March of 2020. March of 2020. When the seal was changed. Yaqua gave us the idea to create the business Real Talk Radio LLC according to the standards where we can have it legally identified. So now we're legally identified as Real Talk Radio LLC. So legally identified as Real Talk Radio LLC. Here it goes. Am I the only one who received a lifetime sentence in Facebook prison? Did someone say something about First Amendment? Still wondering how long this is. So we talking about this is how long Facebook has us restricted. That is 161,751,991,148,222 days. That's how long they have us restricted for, because we're bringing out this information. That is also called an illegal restriction, illegal censorship. That is a violation of our First Amendment rights. They have no authority to stop us from posting information like this, whether it be true or not. They have no authorization to restrict people and censor them. That's why the First Amendment was created, so that we can dispute anything that they have to say in the event that we can prove what we are saying. So now, what we are going to do, we are not going to listen to shit any of these motherfuckers have to say, because it's all bullshit propaganda. So to get back into what we are saying, why is Facebook restricting Real Talk Radio LLC for getting out real information? It is a known scientific fact that when you are breathing in your own bodily waste, you are giving yourself CO2 poisoning, also known as carbon dioxide poisoning. Now, these doctors, scientists, educators, experts, government officials, world leaders, military, the rich, news media outlets, they all know this. And the fact that they know this and knew this is a crime against humanity, because they are purposely murdering people. Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. We have proof that Donald Trump has affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein. We also have proof that 77 million people who are involved, actively involved with Donald Trump and voted for him, are accessories to a crime. We have proof now. So since we have proof, we can go after every single one of them. Now, quite naturally, they're going to resist. So that's where the Second Amendment comes into play. They want to resist us, we could resist them too. We could shoot these motherfuckers straight in the head. That's exactly what it's going to determine. This is going to be determined according to how they keep on addressing us like we're ignorant to facts. So the more they keep addressing us like we're ignorant to facts, the more it's going to come harder on them. And we don't give a fuck about them, for real. We're not hearing shit they have to say, nothing they have to say. And whether you brothers and sisters feel like, we should be more kinder. Look, we tried that approach. We tried that approach for 400 years. That ended up in what? Shackles. And because we ended up in shackles, because of our disobedience to our Creator, that was the reason why we were put in them conditions. We are no longer having that shit. We are going to obey the Most High, continue to do what we have to do to open up the eyes for everybody that's out here so that they can see their bullshit and how we are going to come out of their bullshit and how we're going to do it in fucking force if we have to. Yo, yo, yo. Live on a set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio, LLC, where our talk is always real. Why are we being censored for 106 trillion days? 700. Let's say it correctly. 106 trillion, 751 million, billion. Let's start that over. 106 trillion, 751 billion, 991 million, 148,000. 222 days. Why are we being restricted for almost 107 trillion days? For getting out real information. By Facebook, who is a social media outlet that don't even have no governance within itself. They're not a fucking government. Who are they to fucking dictate who can say and what to say and towards anybody? Fuck your policies. Fuck your community standards. We don't give a fuck if children are watching this shit. They shouldn't be watching it in the first place. Don't you have age restrictions on shit like this? So you allow people that are fucking under 18 on Facebook, right? But according to your policies, you're not supposed to allow people under 18 on Facebook. Isn't that a part of your policies? So fuck y'all. Y'all full of shit. Y'all only pick and choose what y'all want to fucking put out here. It's a double standard fucking sword that these motherfuckers use, and they full of shit. Excuse my language. And if you guys are, again, if you are offended by my language, get the fuck off my page. I'm not asking you motherfuckers to stay on my page in the first place. If you're offended by me, fuck you. You don't have to be up on my page. I'm not asking you to be up on my page. You can ignore this shit. But don't fucking censor me because you don't agree with me. You don't agree with me, so you're going to censor me because I'm not talking your language. Fuck your language. Your language is bullshit. The English language is a bastard language that needs to be destroyed anyway. There's too many motherfucking words that have meaningless and fucking interpretations. Man, fuck this country for real. I hate this motherfucking country for real. I hate this motherfucking world, to be truthful. Everything about this motherfucker, especially when you're dealing in a society of wickedness. Nobody wants to keep waking up every fucking morning listening to these motherfucking clowns. Who wants to keep listening to these motherfuckers always talking about wars and crimes? Who wants to keep listening to that shit? This is all these motherfuckers talk about every single fucking day. It's the same exact shit. And you motherfuckers ain't tired of that shit? You ain't tired of motherfuckers attempting to dictate what you're gonna do? And how you live your life? And what you do? If I choose that I want to kill a motherfucker, then let me kill that motherfucker. Let God decide my fate. Because I'm not gonna be living for a long time anyway. So allow God to decide that fate. I don't want to hear nothing the motherfucker has to say. There ain't shit you could say to me that's gonna allow me to be sympathetic and have empathy towards a people that that are not sympathetic or have empathy towards others. You're not gonna force me to do that shit. And that's the problem with people today. They attempt to force you to do shit that you don't want to do. Man, fuck you. I have the right to do what the fuck I choose and please. And I'm not going to have nobody to keep telling me what I am going to do. Fuck you. You could go fucking shoot yourself in your own head. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Like real shit. Who wants to give a fuck about a peoples who don't give a fuck about you? I don't believe in rabbits laying eggs. I don't believe in a motherfucking that weighs 400 pounds fitting down a 6-inch chimney. So how the fuck you gonna force me to believe your bullshit? I don't believe in your fairy tale ass motherfucking lives. I have that right. Just like I have that right to teach my child the same exact shit. And if I choose to teach my children that Europeans are racist piece of shits, they have either the choice, they want to listen, or do their own research and see how these motherfuckers really are. That's their choice. So I'm not going to force my child to do some shit, but I'm going to guarantee that he has enough knowledge to know what he's dealing up against. And let him determine it himself. So teach a child according to a way that they will never go astray. I'm not worrying about that shit what motherfuckers say. Man, fuck y'all. Y'all some bitch ass motherfuckers who play the victim, try to point fingers at everybody fucking else, arrest people for the same shit that you motherfuckers do, hypocritical ass piece of shits that deserve your fucking heads blowing off because of this shit. And you're angry with me because I'm a man who wants to stick up against you fucking clowns who are cowards. To me, you're cowards. What type of fucking bitch motherfucker needs a nuclear weapons to fight innocent fucking civilians who are unarmed? You got power because you got a motherfucking nuclear weapon? Bitch, you ain't shit but a fucking coward. You need a nuclear weapon to fight somebody that don't even have a motherfucking weapon to fight you. And you can't even defeat us. That's what makes this shit so beautiful. You so goddamn mad that you can't even defeat us because we don't even have a weapon. And we're not afraid of you. I could blow up a motherfucker too. All it takes is a motherfucking lighter. Don't think we can't do it either. Man, I get enough fucking cars around each other, but I'm blowing the whole motherfucking city up. I go right down the street to motherfucking Indiana. I'm gonna blow up every single motherfucking gas station that's out here. If I wanted to do that, some crazy ass shit like that. See, that's what we can do. So ain't shit you could do to us that we can't do to your ass either. You're scared because you're scared that the people are gonna rise up against you after finding out the truth that you motherfuckers have been lying this whole time. That's why you guys are gathering together. All you world leaders and all you pussy motherfuckers are gathering together. So that you can start a nuclear war. Giving nuclear warfare to each other? And thinking that's some powerful shit? Man, that's some pussy ass shit. I'll go right in your motherfucking face, smack the shit out of you right in front of your peoples, and they won't do shit to me. You know why? Because I'm a man and I do shit like that. Fucking clown. They're clowns. And that's like that. They knew that shit when I was fighting the motherfucking police, didn't they? So yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio, LLC, where our talk is always real. Let's point out these facts. Let's point out the facts. They talk all this shit. Let's point out facts. Nobody wants to point out facts, but y'all want to be caught up in these lies. Let's point out facts. We can prove that this shit has been strategically coordinated by these motherfucking piss-face ass motherfuckers. We can prove that they have us censored. We can prove that they have us censored. We can prove we have the seal. We can prove that all of them are involved. All of them are involved. We can prove this. Because we can prove this, this is what they are attempting to stop us from doing. See it? This video is no longer available because the YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated. Chemical trails. You know, when they spraying chemicals in the air purposely and shit, creating amalgamation, mercury and aluminum, which creates amalgamation, dry ice and shit. Yeah, it makes the air colder. You know, what is that? Cloud seeding, as they would call it. HAARP. HAARP. The HAARP machine. Go do your research. These are all the people they are all involved with. A bunch of pedophiles. Pedophiles that allowed transgenders into schools, and pedophiles in girls' locker rooms, and said it was cool that men can play against women. They was all a part of it together until the resistance came up 13 years ago, April 21st, 2012. New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. COVID-19. Look, COVID, COVID-19. Does that sound familiar? This was already created in 2012. So they had already premeditated these agendas. This is what we are telling you. Again, we are restricted. They restricted our page. We suspended your account. 180 days left to appeal or will permanently disable your account. Another violation. First Amendment violations. I'm not trying to hear nothing these motherfuckers say. There goes Trump and Hillary Clinton. These motherfuckers sleep in the same bed. What the fuck are y'all, stupid? Y'all as stupid as y'all look, aren't y'all? The founding father of ISIS. There go George Bush Jr. I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle. Joe Biden, who converted from a Republican to a Democrat. Then you had Barack Obama, who supported him. 11,422 children have been killed in Palestine because of these two motherfuckers. And it's been over that much. Children. Here's your Omicron. Remember Omicron? Let's go back and find what that really means. Let's look at Bill Gates and Omicron. Omicron? Anyone? They go Donald Trump. They go Jeffrey Epstein. Anyone? Do you guys see this shit yet? Is it not starting to make sense? Here goes George Bush Sr. There goes Melania, whatever her fucking name, Trump. There goes all your so-called motherfucking presidents. Look. And then, you know, she has involvement with Donald Trump, don't she? That's his wife, isn't it? Is she or even a... Wait, hold up. Is she even a she? Let's make this crystal clear. So let's keep going. Let's show, ladies and gentlemen, what these people are really about. Come on. If you want to know where they're at, go look at their sites. They'll show you exactly who they are part of. Every single one of them. They all hang with each other. The 77 million people is a possibility every one of them are a part of the Jeffrey Epstein list, who buried children under islands. Now, for some odd reason, you know, you're not going to even hear nothing else about that bullshit. Now, are we? Because the same people who put these motherfucking actions into play are the same people who are fucking in office. And you dumb motherfuckers keep voting for their ass. That's how stupid we are as a people. We don't even see the obvious, and then you go up against a brother like me who's getting this information out because it doesn't validate your bullshit ass motherfucking agendas. Man, fuck all of y'all. For real. If y'all not out here creating freedom for our people, you're a part of their agendas. And if you're a part of their agendas, you're not a part of us. We have nothing to do with you. We don't want nothing to do with you. Whether you be my family or anybody, I don't give a fuck. You're not my family. Because if you are a part of their system, you're a part of that fucking bullshit ass society. I don't want nothing to do with you. Stay the fuck away from us. We have nothing to do with you at all. You are a part of their systemic racist agendas. So we don't want nothing to do with you. Everything about you is a part of them. And if you're a part of them, we have nothing to do with you. I don't care who you are. So again, yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio, LLC, where our talk is always real. Don't quit fucking playing with us, because we're not going to play with you. March 16th, 2025 will be out. It's a Sunday. I chose that day because of March 16th, 2020. So we're going to keep it going. March 17th of 2025, I'll be out there again. But we're going to be at a different location. And you guys, well, if you're going to be there, you'll be there. I'm not expecting too many people to be out there at this time. But I wasn't expecting too many people to be out the last time either. I was not expecting the people to be out the last time either. But you saw what we did then. Shall we remind you? Yeah, I think we will remind you. Let's see if we could go back to that video and show you what we are about. And then we'll end this. So, right now, yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio, LLC, where our talk is always real. I'm going to take you guys back to a reflection. We're going to go back to when we came out the last time and why they don't want us coming back out again. No, they don't want us coming back out again. Why don't they want us to come back out again? Because we're we're them people. We're the ones that's going to make this change. We're the ones that have made the change. We're the ones that's going to keep on coming out here and fucking them up. If we got to fuck them up physically this time, then we're going to do it. I don't mind doing it. I don't mind beating these bitch-ass motherfuckers' ass because they on some bullshit. So I'm not trying to hear shit that these motherfuckers got to say. Yo, it's on and popping from now on. And when we come back out, it's going to be way worse for them. Why? Because they deserve it. They murdered our people, man. We don't got shit to say to these motherfuckers no more. They murdered our people on purpose. So since they murdered our people on purpose, we're going to visit their ass again. And they know how we can get. All right, let me just make sure I could. Yeah, for some odd reason, this motherfucker ain't allowing us to do what we normally can do. All right, let me just make sure this is the right one. Yep, this is the right one. So let me see. I don't know why. All right, there you go. All right, let's put on the sound now. I love music. I love making music. I love life too. That's why I choose it. So subscribe to this vibe. You can feel it from the pit of your stomach on the inside, just oozing. I love music. I love making music. I love life too. That's why I choose it. So subscribe to this vibe. You can feel
walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Deep thought, deep mind, and deep state, never third eye blind.
What are you talking about? I am a parent to all these children out here in the street. So, these people already know what we are capable of doing. Now again, we're not going to play with them this time. They begged us to stop. And the only reason why we stopped, because we took in consideration of the children and the elderly. Now, we would advise the children and the elderly to stay out our way this time, because we're not going to play with them this time. They didn't play with us for the past 4 years. They haven't been playing with us since they've have been attempting to implement their policies. So we no longer are playing with them. We advise everyone who does not want to get involved to stay the fuck out our way. We are advising you guys. So it doesn't mean that you guys are going to do it, but we are advising you not to stay out of our way, because we will be invoking our Second Amendment rights. Now, if we have to get into war with our own people, then that's what's going to happen. Just so that we can make sure that everyone has the clarity of what's really going on. We are not listening to no politicians. None of these politicians speak for us. We speak for ourselves. If we have something we want to say to them, we will direct it towards them ourselves. We are not asking no one out here to speak for us. We are speaking for ourselves. We were the ones that started this. We are going to be the ones that finish it. So, the hour is going to take a 40-year period. We're in the 5th year right now. The more we destroy this system, the better it is going to be for our people. We are not hearing anything that any politicians has to say in regards to this matter, because they are a part of the same agendas, whether it be Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, or whatever you motherfuckers classify yourselves as. We're not a part of you. We don't have no affiliations with none of you motherfuckers, because we already know how you guys are designed. So we don't want any association with you, whether it be Black Lives Matter, whether it be Antifa, whether it be whomever you motherfuckers are. We have no association with you guys. The only reason why we're making this crystal clear in that matter, because I want people to see that there were 3 types of people that's out here. There are 3 types of conversations that are happening out here. You have their side, the other side, and then the God's honest truth. We stick with the God's honest truth, only because it's best for us that way. That's why we're called Real Talk Radio LLC. Anyone that's using real without our permission is an infringement. It's a violation to our rights. You have no right to use real, because if you're not coming through us first and we're monitoring your shit, everything you say is fallacy, it's false, it's a lie. Whether it be true or not, we're considering it as a lie because, for one, you didn't come through us. We're running a great government. We're going to establish our government. We're at $0 debt. I'm a chief to a tribe. We also have our nationality. Everywhere our feet touch is ours. So we're not giving a fuck what nobody has to say. And we have the seal to prove it. We can document all this shit. We're going to seal all our documents. We're going to make sure everything is in order. We're going to stay at a $0 debt. And we're going to keep pursuing our righteousness according to the righteousness of the Most High, who has allowed us to have this position. We have been put in such a great position that none of these motherfuckers can do shit about it but whine and complain. They started the wars, so we're going to finish them. Your president, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Joe Biden, all Republican senators, government officials, world leaders, military, law enforcement agencies, police officers, and the rich have everything to do with these pandemics. They are currently now sitting at the same table or in the same room speaking about nuclear warfare and how they're going to use nuclear warfare against its civilians. Now, this has nothing to even do with the people that are having war, because they are all together. You have all these countries that are operating together, creating nuclear warfare so that it can go against the civilians, because civilians are starting to find out that the rich are the ones that are dictating everything that's going on, who have illegally stolen our finances, our tax dollars, and have utilized them on unnecessary bullshit like they're doing today. And the people are waking up. Yo, live on the set. I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio LLC. while talk is always real. You tell me what their agenda's about.
Real talk, real talk. All you gotta do is be real with yourself, and everything will be alright. You feel me? Real Talk Radio.
I'm your host, Brother Jeremiah with Real Talk Radio LLC. Where I talk. Yo, this is for those cats that's out.
Very simple answer to one question. Do you hate all white people? I don't think it's a fair question. The white man doesn't even come into my attitude. Mr. Muhammad teaches us to love our own kind and let the white man take care of himself. For a white man today, sir, after kidnapping millions of black people from Africa, stripping them of all human characteristics and relegating them to the role of chattel or animals, commodity, merchandise that could be bought and sold at will. And then 100 years since the Emancipation Proclamation, using every type of deceptive method to further us into slavery, called second-class citizenship, I think that it would take a whole lot of nerve for white people today to ask Negroes who they hate.
Legal or illegal? Gotta get it. Yeah. Anyway that I can get it. Even if I gotta take it, I'ma make it. Legal or illegal? Gotta get it. Anyway that I can get it. Even if I gotta take it, I'ma make it. Legal or illegal? Gotta get it. Yeah. Anyway that I can get it.
Let's walk this way. Is that Prince or King? Come here, Prince. What's today's mathematics?
Hey, yo, no disrespect, but we ain't in all of that, son.
Build, destroy. To build is to elevate the mentalities of self and those around self. To add positive energy to every nation. To build, you must first start from the root, which is the knowledge foundation, and add on to the highest peak. To destroy is to eliminate and destroy any and all negativity that enters my cipher of supreme harmony.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Come on, son. Love it.
I don't play about me. This season is all about continued growth and surrounding myself with energy that aligns with what I'm trying to achieve in my life. If it's toxic, I don't want it around me. If it's negative, I don't want it around me. If it's confusing or unfulfilling, I just don't want it around me. Right now, my biggest toxic trait is fuck around and never hear from me again. It's really like that. Listen, I love people, and I show everybody love. So if I stop fucking with you, that means you did too much. Because once you cross me, I can give two shits about an apology. Stay away from me.
Yo, live on the set, this is your co-host, Little Jeremiah, with Real Talk Radio, LLC, where our talk is always real.
Can I have your name and badge number?
Come here.
My name is Salvis. What's your name and badge number?
Are you filming it?
I said pass safety. Could you please have your sergeant come by, please?
Legal or illegal? Yeah. Anyway. Legal or illegal? Yeah. Anyway. Legal or illegal? Legal or illegal? Legal or illegal?
Real talk, real talk. All you gotta do is be real with yourself, and everything will be alright. You feel me? Real Talk Radio. Real Talk Radio.